Hi, hello, it's me again. So soon, you ask, absolutely incredulous? Why yes, it's a new year, and if there's one goal I have for 2023, it's to actually give you more videos than you can count on one hand. One Na'vi hand even. So, in the spirit of simply getting things done, the top 5 is back, but without all the unnecessary qualifiers and justifications and over-explaining and just the general blah 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 blah. Nah, here's a good old-fashioned list fashioned from the absolute fuck all I saw and also played in 2022. I still got so many things to cop from last year that this video ain't comprehensive or all-encompassing in the slightest. But dude, let's just get it done.
Let's get it done.
And so, hi. My name is Bailey, and here's 5 things from 2022 that I absolutely fucking loved. Just in case the last video did not make it overwhelmingly obvious, I am obsessed with Horizon Forbidden West. I loved that first game, man. Prehistoric people in the year 3000 riding robot dinosaurs had 6-year-old me screaming. But round 2, I don't have the words. Every right note a game can hit for me. Style, scope, system, story, just bang, 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 bang. Everything about it, my eyes just melting right out of my fucking head for like 127 hours or something insane as I totally let go of reality and gave it all over to this game. Like, dude, I just freaking walked everywhere because I wanted to breathe in every last handcrafted detail. I didn't want to leave a single perfectly placed stone unturned. I was in so deep, it was past looking at pretty post-apocalyptic colours. I'm standing on the edge of a drop-dead, gorgeous waterfall going, God, I love geography. Where does that river flow from? Why do these trees grow here? What did they build this town with? Look at the leaves and the rocks and the dust in the air. As I said, obsessed, and that's before bringing in the battle mechanics, the battle mechanical, I don't really know what I was going for there, but look, I know no greater gameplay rush than firing explosive tipped arrows into a giant metal Spinosaurus that shoots plasma frickin' laser beams right out of its mouth. Hooah! But what I love most about this game is simpler than that. Horizon's most compelling factor, I think, is the way it marries a world worth falling in love with a protagonist who never ceases to fall further in love with that world. My girl Aloy isn't some jaded, gravel-voiced, world-weary ass who's been unwillingly roped into a quest she's trying desperately not to care about. Nah, this adventure matters to Aloy. Every fully realised biome, every expertly rendered commune, every perfectly imperfect person, and every absorbing little story they have to share actually matters to Aloy. She actually cares. There's something so nurturing, so motherly about the way she explores this world, the way she delves into its forgotten past and its uncertain future. There's something so warm in the way she sees, the way she listens. Call it some kind of feminine grace, maybe, some kind of empathetic maternal perspective through which something affectionate and tender flows, but the feeling I had while playing this game, that whole 127 hours of it, was one of undiluted euphoric joy as I journeyed across the Forbidden West with an open heart overflowing with love for everything that surrounded me. Oh, what I'd give to do it all over again for the very first time. To keep rolling with the dinosaur theme for some reason, in 2022 I copped Primal Season 2. Primal is my new favourite thing to hit the small screen since, I don't know, probably Fleabag? But I obviously don't want to spoil this total masterpiece for you that far in, so I'm just gonna sit here and sell you on Season 1. You'll remember Samurai Jack, right? What about that Star Wars show that kicked infinite ass? Yeah, this one. Well, the same mastermind who made those made magic with this all over again. Here, Genndy Tartakovsky asks one simple question. What if we told a bunch of 22-minute buddy stories about a Neanderthal and a T-Rex just wreaking havoc across the prehistoric world as they struggle to stay alive in the most electrifying and gut-wrenching way possible? Well, that doesn't sound that simple, but simplicity really is the key here because Primal's storytelling approach is all visual. Seriously, ready yourself for this next statement. Primal has my favourite visual storytelling of probably anything ever, and probably by a long shot too. A story about a dinosaur warrior and his warrior dinosaur wandering through this hand-drawn primordial hellscape being told like that. There's just no words, speechless. No, literally, the show is totally dialogue free. The only sounds you can understand out of anyone's mouths are... And it's unreal. Each episode feels like so much more than just 22 minutes of storytelling because this entire thing is always dialed up to 11, or 12, or 2000. There is no show that goes harder than this. And yet it's all so focused and clean and thus elegant, even with all that glorious bloodshed, that every designer, animator, writer, recordist, editor, etc. that put it all together can be nothing short of a bona fide genius god person to me. You want to talk about the principles of design? Ain't nothing ever handled them better. Its understanding of set-piece scaling, of epic canvas narrative, constructing a cinematic moment, all second to none. There are more all-timer visual ideas per episode in Primal than most blockbuster movies can conjure up across their entire runtime. Every composition is just bam, bam, bam. I mean, seriously, what the fuck? And where it all comes together and levels up and becomes such an intoxicating work of art beyond that core relationship of two wandering souls bound together by loss that I love like you would not believe, is experiencing the manic thrill of the most horrifically depraved, disgusting, extreme violence you have ever seen, played against sequences of the achingly profound, sequences of quietly overwhelming melancholy, and it does this over and over and over, and the power of that dynamic only grows stronger and stronger with each successive episode. The show taps into something raw and visceral and primal, with a level of creative inspiration that I cannot possibly comprehend. And it's perfect, man. Are we still on the dinosaur theme? Because Top Gun is a goddamn fossil by now. It's a 37-year-old relic that finally has a legacy sequel of its own. A legacy sequel that has no right being as absolutely phenomenal as it is. I don't need to explain to you what Top Gun Maverick is. We all know what it is. It's a blockbuster movie going Mach 10. And that's exciting, right? Because not enough of them do. If you're handed this much money to make a motion picture, then it is your obligation, no, your duty to excel, to push the limits. You gotta be bold and confident, and you must be fairly freaking brave. Tom Cruise kinda brave. Everyone's always going on about how he's gonna end up on the moon sooner or later, but at this point, I'm certain he's gonna launch himself directly into the sun. Like, look at the man go. How good is this shit? Brain-breaking stuff.
You see me now?
I think what's really special about Maverick is how flawlessly it handles the intersection of nostalgia and invention, choosing not to rehash old ground for cheap thrills and microwaved emotional leftovers from decades ago, but to explore legacy itself and to utilize the past in a way that allows its characters to make sense of their present all these years later. And hey, even if it does reheat the odd old scene or two, you better believe it does it better and bakes those sequences into the overarching recipe with more purpose and punch than the OG was ever interested in doing. It's just so technically perfect too, like Eddie Hamilton has to be just about the greatest action editor working right now, surely, and not to overcredit my Mission Impossible boys because Joseph Kosinski is amazing, but the work McQuarrie did on the set piece staging on a script level, God mode, the gang don't miss. More than anything though, I think Maverick showcases the unwavering, timeless power of true sentimentality, of being properly and unconditionally earnest. You might call that cheesy or sappy or whatever, but hey, as far as I'm concerned, those are pretty insecure little labels for moments that mean something, moments that are fearless, unafraid of a vulnerable truth. And that's the thing, Maverick does all the basic blockbuster storytelling stuff so insanely well that when I think about why I love it, the stuff way up in the sky, supercharged and tangible and emotional as it might be, still comes second to the moments where the wings are taken away and it's still left soaring on some other kind of cinematic magic altogether. That's true Megaplex entertainment, baby, full-blooded and active in every beat, big or small. Maverick doesn't feel like a movie of this moment, it's built like a classic, and trust me, it'll go down as one because of it. And here we were all thinking Mr. Jordan Peele was the next big thing in horror. He is, but man, he might be an even bigger thing for sci-fi after this. The first thing that's so striking about Nope is how batshit insane it plays on paper. Every element of it is so eclectic and yet so specific, almost as if every component was wrangled from entirely separate movies, and then somehow it all comes together in a way that, makes sense. Cowboys and UFOs, chimps and SNL, tube men and IMAX cameras and kooky Fry's Electronics employees.
Alright, can I help you over here?
The result of having so many bizarre factors coalesce in that way is that the moment-to-moment storytelling remains entirely unpredictable yet totally satisfying. At no point did I really know where we were going next with this, even within the 3-act framework, and that is a goddamn tonic, man. It gives Nope this risky, almost unstable feeling like the big movies of the 70s and 80s had. After seeing what Big Daddy Hoyt brought out of Jordan behind the camera, just peak visual command in every shot, I think we could have a true Spielbergian successor on our hands here, but with a kind of tonal approach that feels genuinely new to me. It's doing obscene, emotional, horrifying, irreverent, and just plain cool all at the same time, and it's just fresh. What Daniel Kaluuya is doing? Fresh. Steven Yeun? fresh. Brandon Perea, fresh. Kiki motherfucking Palmer, fresh as it gets. She's so good in this. The opening title sequence, that's fresh. Anything composer Michael Abels touches, fresh, fresh, fresh. Nope ain't an easy movie to delve into quickly like this, let alone at all. It's not something I can package up neatly and sell to you simplified. Jordan don't work like that. Nope's metaphors take some serious work to unpack. And you know what? That's exciting. The movies that excite me the most, more than the ones that are immaculate in every way, are the ones that are just a little incongruent, whether by design or by accident, because they ask just that little bit more from you with the promise that they might mean just that little bit more to you when you finally make sense of them. They're the kind of movies that feel like they're walking a tightrope, so precariously balanced upon big ideas and bold storytelling that they could tip into not working altogether so very easily. But I think Jordan Peele is too good for that to happen, ain't he? Okay, here we go. The thing of 2022. The best thing. The show about a silly little man who likes to rehearse stuff. Now, to try to describe The Rehearsal to the uninitiated is an impossible task, not only because the premise is the most deranged concept out there, but because it shapeshifts so suddenly and so wildly that even if I pitch to you where it starts, the place it arrives within the next 5 minutes is just, what is going on? All you need to know is this. Nathan Fielder is God, and he manipulates the very fabric of reality at his whim, simply because HBO gave him the money to do so. That ain't hyperbole, I'm not riffing, it's the only way this makes sense, cause watching this for the first time, reality just broke for me. Fractured, exploded. Documentary has always been the reassembly of captured reality to tell a story, but at the point where reassembling the reassembling of a reassembly, I'm calling in medical support because my brain has boiled down to soup. The layers here, the layers. Oh, matey Nady, the god, as established, might be the greatest storyteller alive right now. I don't know, like, imagine coming up with this thing, planning it and staging it, and then letting it all go wrong and using that to go further. Do you know how good your instincts have to be able to do that and to make it funny? I'm not even really sure it's a comedy. I'm not sure there's any label for it at all, because the weight every laugh carries is one of equal sadness, or loneliness, or existential confusion.
What scares you the most?
First off, it's eels.
There are moments here that I laughed harder at than anything all year, but at least 90% of those moments made me aware I was laughing at someone else's tragedy, be it their devastating lack of awareness, their inability to notice basic social cues, or their barely suppressed yearning for something real. A real interaction, a real relationship, a real partner, a real friend, a real father. It's that play on empathy, that utterly transfixing examination of it, where it triumphs, where it fails, and where you didn't even know it could exist, that makes The Rehearsal so... wow! Am I getting across the degree to which this show had me losing my mind? It had me out of my seat, squealing, pulling my hair, covering my eyes. It's fucking wild. Genuinely, like 4 minutes into the first episode when the inciting, oh, I rehearsed this word for word moment hits, my face almost melted off my goddamn skull, and then it kept going, kept escalating or descending, unraveling, all of that until it lands in the single most inexplicable place I have ever seen a story go. A place where it no longer matters what's constructed and what isn't. Because real or not, the thing the rehearsal unearths, the uncharted place it manages to access, is entirely emotionally true. And I will never stop thinking about it. And so here's the part where everyone goes, well, what about insert acclaimed piece of art here? And the answer to that is so simple. Either A, I haven't seen it because Australian release dates are a catastrophe. B, I'm holding off to do a full video, which I could still do for some of these if you'll make enough noise. Or C, because there are literally only 5 spots here. Things have to miss out, do the math. But just to fill in the gaps, take a peep at some of my other 2022 favourites while I ramble on through to the end of this thing. The whole point of bringing back the top 5, honestly, was just to test how fast I could bang out a video without all the weeks of prep and note-taking, just to keep the ball rolling, and I reckon I went alright with it, don't you? I imagine I'm going to be spending a lot of 2023 helping the homies like High Top and FilmSpeak and anyone else out there who wants what I do on their channel. What? But boy oh fucking boy do I have a Why I Love lineup raring and ready to go. No promises or teasers because you'll get what you get when you get it. But I ain't got nothing else to do no more, so you will get it. Exciting times ahead, I say. Is that enough? Have y'all seen enough? What more do you want from me? You just want more videos, huh? Well, see you later then. I got work to do.